Good morning. Good morning. A lot of people here, it's making me a little nervous.
Well, we all love you guys.
So, 2012. It all means something to different people. It all means something different, which is really cool. To me, it's the year of transformation, the year of change, the year of hope. Every problem the world currently faces can be traced back to the idea that there is a lack of motivation. A lack of motivation is what depletes a planet of its resources, whether it's not taking action to prevent errors from occurring, or not consciously thinking about what the consequences are going to be. We are approaching a time in which this lack of motivation is becoming more and more critical to our survival. The materialism in this world is quickly being turned into some form of spiritual awakening. This awakening is closely connected to becoming motivated to change our course of action. We are currently living in desperate times. Many people are losing their jobs and can't find work. Some are losing their homes, and many are finding it difficult to feed their families. It may seem hard, if not impossible, to find motivation in times like these. Is it a fear of losing the world? Or is it a fear of gaining the universe? Is it a fear of the unknown? Or is it a fear of an attempt to understand the unknown? Is it a fear of the lack of knowledge we have? Or is it a fear of the depth of knowledge we're obtaining? Do I fear telling others my thoughts? Or do I fear allowing others to listen? Change is only a difficult time if we don't embrace it. It is only when we throw it off to the side when it becomes a problem. If we truly open ourselves up and have the courage to approach these changes and look deep within the core of our being, we will find the truth. And within this truth, we will embrace any changes that come our way. It is only when we are lost between the boundary between our inner self and the external world, when we lose sight of who we are, these changes only become a problem if we view them as external to ourselves, as though they are just randomly occurring. When we view our inner being, we are peering deep within the secrets of the universe, and we are seeing a glimpse of what the world we are creating looks like. For the universe lies within the structure of our beliefs. When we reach that point in our lives, when we feel we have nothing left, when everything we once owned has been taken from us, that point in our lives when we feel completely hopeless, when death comes knocking on our door, and when the end of the storm is nowhere in sight, all we have left to do is gain. Gain is the end result. When all is lost, all is there to gain. When we lose all of our happy moments, and when the bad is just getting worse, the thing we don't realize is that this is the best opportunity to gain everything. We may be losing everything in the sense that the things we once owned have been sold to pay the rent, destroyed by the weather, or have been taken from us and replaced with sorrow, guilt, and hopelessness. Some would argue that these are the signs of a failure, of someone going down, being depleted. However, what is to replace this depletion? What qualities do you like about yourself? Which ones don't you like? The end is only the beginning in the sense that we have nothing more to lose. And the only other option is to gain, or in other words, begin replacing what was once lost with the things we now desire. There is a reason why, after 26 years of my life, a 9-year relationship, a marriage and a divorce, a mechanical engineering degree, that I stand here 5 days before December 21st, 2012, to speak about hope. about hope, a transformation and a new beginning. It is not a coincidence. I've come to the conclusion that the reason why people fear change so much is because they don't want to give up a certain aspect of who they are. Try not to think about who you are in the present moment. Think about who you want to become. Make a decision about what qualities you want to keep about yourself and what qualities you want to leave behind. Or in other words, die. Let the part of you that you don't like die and fall away. Once you discover who you don't want to be, then leave that part of you behind so you can become the part you want to be. Try not to carry excess baggage if you don't need it. Lighten up the load on yourself. Begin this process of letting go. Try not to let that part of you be afraid that it's dying. Because every day, a part of you dies. It's just a matter of what part. Be the instigator and choose which part dies. As you grow up and lose more and more aspects of what you don't like about yourself, then you become who you truly are. In my personal life, this is the very reason why I have resisted change. It wasn't until I realized that a part of me has to die in order for me to become who I truly am. In this way, I was able to lose this fear of change. And in the process, I discovered hope. The Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies. I tried to play it last night for Spiritual Cinema, but I only had one person show up, so it didn't work out so well. But a show of hands, how many of you have seen the movie? Wow. Okay, lots of people. Well, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's about an innocent man who was wrongly accused of murder, and he was put in prison for life. But he never gave up hope. There's a line from the movie that says, "Hope is a good thing, perhaps the best of things, and no good thing ever dies." No good thing ever dies. Find that good thing in yourself. Find that part of you that you know is right, that you know is innocent. Hold on to it. Cherish it. Love it. Expand on it. That is who you are. And that part of you will never die. That part of you is love. Hope is here. It is here to hand over its light to fear and to watch as fear caves in on itself under the immense brightness as hope continues to shine down upon the most evil of all villains, to prove once and for all to fear that the way forward is not to continue living in separation, but to live in love, wholeness, and unity, to transform what was once a dark, impenetrable force, to speak to it, to know it, to tell it that it's a perfectly valid feeling. For when it becomes recognized, it becomes respected and is loved. Forgive all. Forgive fear for taking over so many lives. Forgive those who have chosen to live in fear. We must show our deepest compassion towards fear and do so in a humble manner. This is how we transform fear into love. It's not about rejecting, ignoring, and disobeying fear. Rather, it's about loving, respecting, and nurturing fear into something that is more expansive, more intelligent, and much more encompassing than ever before. To live a life full of limitation is to be the masters of limitation. This requires a species to forget that it's love more than ever imagined, to forget that reality is in spirit form and not physical form, and to not understand love to its fullest potential, but instead to adapt a fear mentality. However, we are doing the impossible. We are breaking this burden of limitation. We are restructuring the way in which we were designed. We are mutating our DNA, discovering who and what we are. And we are finding our voice to be the change we want to see in the world. Hope is what motivates us. Hope is what gets us there. Hope is what makes the impossible possible. Hope is here to show the way. Hope is here to pave this day. The only power the president has is the power we let him have. The government does not own us. The government cannot control us, and the government cannot force us unless we allow them to. You may not want to believe it, but we have more power in a single voice than the president has over the entire country. We currently have engineers who build electric sports cars, scientists who threaten the laws of thermodynamics, students who build solar-powered trash compactors, protesters who make their voice heard when there is no one there to listen, volunteers who travel across the world to be of service, communities who are dedicated to restoring our lakes and rivers, and families who rely on our neighbors for support. United we stand in hope for a better future that says to the large corporations, to the monopolies who think they run the world, and to the entire government itself that we want change. For they have to listen to us because we are the structure of this world. So where do we begin? What do we want? What does our heart desire? Spiritual motivation is not about waiting around for events to take hold. It's not about waiting for the right time to be who we truly are. The new world is now. It is happening as you hear me speak. The changes you want to happen are happening in this very moment. We are currently living in the world we desire. It may not seem like it because there's so much destruction going on. People are needlessly dying, and deception is found everywhere we look. The reason why this is the case is because we are allowing this experience to help jolt us into becoming more motivated. We would not be experiencing the things we are experiencing if they did not need to be experienced. These experiences are what mold and shape our motivation. And once this motivation has settled into our lives, the world will have changed before our eyes. The changes you want to happen are happening right now. The love you have been waiting for, the acceptance you've always asked for, the truth and knowledge you've dreamed about, and the friendships you've longed to have. It's all right here, happening right now. Duality is a very strong concept to grasp. And it not only occurs in spiritual teachings, but also in quantum physics. There exists light and dark, night and day, fear and love. All of these opposites exist simultaneously, and it's up to us to choose which one we want to experience. Our reality is based upon what we choose to put our focus and attention towards. If we choose to put our focus towards love, wholeness, and unity, we will see a world which gives more than it receives, which creates more than it destroys, and which uplifts more than it deflates. The decision is ours. The reality is yet to be determined. And a change in focus is all that is required. This congregation represents the best and the brightest of all of humanity. The people here love more, know more, dedicate more, see more, believe more, hope more. If the whole of humanity were contained within this congregation, peace would prevail. I have something to tell you. This congregation does not contain walls. You You are free to spread your love, to spread your dignity, to make your ancestors proud, to impress visitors from beyond the cloud. We represent humanity. Be proud to be a human. It is not something to be ashamed of, looked down upon, suppressed, hidden away, or put on a shelf to never be seen again. Be proud of who and what we are. We are cells in a human body. Each of us has a function to fulfill. Each of us has a purpose. Each of us has an individual self-expression. If we do not express ourselves to the best of our ability, if we do not carry out our function, if we do not be who we are to the best of our ability, the body will die. It doesn't matter what you do. The garbage man is just as important as the doctor. What matters is how we do it. If you're a healer like Annie, be the best healer you possibly can be. If you're a hairstylist like Cynthia, be the best hairstylist you possibly can be. If you're an artist like Joy and Joe, be the best artist you possibly can be. If you're a human being, be the best human being you possibly can be. Today is the day of a dawning of a new way. Every book you've read, every story you've told, every movie you've watched, and every belief you've had is true. There is hope. And this is it. This is the new world. This is what the new world looks like. We are a community of individuals who do not give up, who are not afraid, and who, above all else, refuse to believe that humanity will never see peace on earth. Because peace is here. Hope is here. I guarantee you, peace on earth will prevail. Thank you.